welcome back to my channel. If you're new, babe, hit the subscribe button because you're gonna want to stay. If you're returning, hey besties, it's so good to see you again. Welcome back to another meal prep video. Okay, we're gonna keep the intro very brief. I have 3 super duper quick, and I mean emphasis on the quick, easy and delicious meals for you that have been helping me reach my health and fitness goals. This meal prep is all about not reinventing the wheel. Use the shortcuts because I'm gonna use a shortcut. You already know that I'm not a professional, so you guys can pause to read the disclaimer here. You know what your body needs. We're 2 different people, so please make sure that you are adjusting the portion sizes, adjust your seasonings to your palate, remove and add in whatever you need to. Remember, this is just to give you creative food inspiration, not tell you exactly what you need to be eating. All my recipes will be down below in the description box. It's a cute little PDF. You can click it, you can save it, screenshot it, download it. It is yours. And without further ado, let's jump into this meal prep video. This portion of today's video is brought to you by none other than Green Chef. Thank you so much to Green Chef for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Y'all, summer is in full effect, and between being a busy teacher preparing for summer school and preparing for 2 weddings this summer, life is busy. As an educator, my schedule is usually always very packed, but I still want to stay consistent with my health and fitness goals. And that's where Green Chef comes into play. If you haven't heard or you're unfamiliar, Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for clean eating, and it truly makes healthy eating effortless. They deliver organic, pre-prepped ingredients straight to your door, so there's no grocery shopping, no stressing, just flavorful, feel-good meals in minutes. Recently, I made their turkey tacos with mango chimichurri slaw, and when I tell you, wow, the flavors were bold and fresh, and it took me maximum 15 minutes, and that was really only because I was taking my sweet time. Each meal comes with a recipe card that's so clear and easy to follow, so really it's impossible for you to mess it up. I'm currently traveling right now, and Green Chef has been a lifesaver when it comes to eating. When life is hectic, their quick, balanced meals take the guesswork out of eating well. Every time that I've used Green Chef, my experience has been nothing but positive from the beginning of the process to the end. Delivery is quick and efficient, it's packaged with care, and every recipe that I have chosen, literally every single time I've used Green Chef, all of the recipes have been 10 out of 10. With 80+ weekly meal options to choose from across preferences like Mediterranean, plant-based, and gluten-free, staying on track with my healthy eating goals has never been easier. I am subscribed, and I will continue to remain subscribed to Green Chef because they make eating well effortless even when life is anything but. Now y'all know I don't gatekeep, okay? When I know, we know. So of course I'm gonna share the love because I just know that you're gonna enjoy Green Chef as much as I do. Head to greenchef.com or click the link below and use code 50Rihanna to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Green Chef box plus 20% off for 2 months. That's code 50Rihanna at greenchef.com to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Green Chef box and 20% off for 2 months. Code 50Rihanna at greenchef.com. Again, another huge thank you to Green Chef for sponsoring this portion of today's video. To kick off this meal prep, we are running back an oldie but goodie. This is one of my favorite recipes to make. It is a banana bread with chocolate chips, and you know if it's chocolate it's for me, so of course this is a favorite of mine. Right now we're starting off by mixing all of our dry ingredients in a separate bowl. You could obviously use a whisk and all the things. I just was using what I had at the moment. And then this probably isn't the most healthiest recipe, but it's nice to, you know, indulge just a little bit. So I'm melting an entire stick of butter, popping that in the microwave in increments of 30 just to make sure that I do not burn it. Then I'm going to start preparing the base for my wet mixture. I'm going to measure out some white sugar and brown sugar, and when the butter is all melted, I'm going to add that in as well and give it a good mix until it forms a light brown paste. Once the paste has been made, I'm going to use these bananas. They look a little sus. I promise they're not. I let my bananas get really, really ripe in bulk, and then I put them in the freezer. So they're a little bit wet because I defrosted them from the freezer. So forgive the appearance, but they work just as fine. I used 3 bananas, but if you like more of a strong banana flavor, go ahead and use 4. Follow that up with 2 eggs and a little bit of vanilla. Give it a good mix and set it aside. Just kidding, we can't set the wet mixture aside because we still have wet ingredients to add. I'm gonna add in some of this Greek yogurt. I believe this is like the 2% fat one. You can use whatever one you would like, but this just adds that nice moisture that we all know and love in a banana bread. Then we're gonna give that a good mix and finally transfer in all of our dry ingredients plus our chocolate chips, which are the star of the show, and then we're gonna bake it in the oven. banana bread is fully baked, I let it rest on the counter for a couple of hours before wrapping it in saran wrap overnight. I never cut my banana bread the same day. I just like to lock in the moisture, let it rest, and then it'll be perfect the next day. Now, of course, you know, I love this part of a meal prep, getting to show you guys the finished product. This is actually the banana bread after about 5 days. I just wanted you guys to see that it does hold up really, really well, and the flavor is amazing. Next up, we are making the quickest, most easiest lunch/dinner that we could possibly make on this channel. I am taking some shortcuts, and honestly, I think you guys should too. There's nothing wrong with taking a shortcut. I'm making some salmon hibachi bowls with a sweet and salty glaze on top that has soy sauce and gochujang and honey. It's so good, so quick and easy, maximum a 15-minute meal. To start, we're gonna go ahead and season our salmon. You guys, make sure that you guys are adjusting the seasonings to your liking. I season with love over here. I'm always careful with my salty seasonings or any seasonings that have salt in them, but everything else, I'm pretty heavy-handed because I just wanna make sure that the food is flavorful. You can use gloves to pat the seasonings into the salmon. I'm just using my hands because I wash my hands with hot soap and water, so not too much on me. But once that's all done, you're gonna go ahead and pop it in the air fryer for about 9 to 10 minutes at 400 degrees. Then I'm moving on to the hibachi vegetables. I'm using a green squash or a zucchini, and then also a quarter of a yellow onion. I'm just gonna go ahead and chop them into these like little mini spears. I think that's how they chop them at the hibachi places. I don't know, I can't really remember, but this is what we're doing. Trader Joe's has really good fried rice. This is the vegetable fried rice. I think they have a pork one and a chicken one and maybe potentially a shrimp one. I might be lying about one of those flavors, but this one is the vegetable one, so I wanted to keep it really simple. I'm gonna go ahead and add a good portion into a pan. I'm gonna follow it up with some soy sauce and a little bit of water to help it steam. Now I'm just gonna transfer my zucchini into a bowl and go ahead and start chopping my onions. I wanna make sure that they're pretty close to the same size as the zucchinis. That way everything cooks evenly and is easy to eat. If you guys don't know this about me, I love eggs. I know an egg hates to see me coming, but to add extra protein into any of my meals, I always try to add an egg or some sort of egg whites. Today I'm using 2 eggs, so I'm just gonna crack 2 eggs into a skillet and scramble eggs. Y'all know how to scramble eggs. I'm not adding any salt or any pepper just because there's soy sauce in the rice, and I'm going to add my fried rice into this mixture once the scrambled eggs are done. Now to stir fry my veggies, I have a little bit of olive oil and a couple dashes of sesame seed oil. A little of that goes a long way, so just use a tiny bit. I'm adding all of that to the pan, allowing it to heat up before adding my vegetables. And then I'm going to season with my basic seasonings and add some garlic. You can use fresh garlic. I have garlic. Either way, it works and it tastes good. So use whatever one at your own discretion. Next, I'm going to be making the sauce, and I'm actually going to be making a big batch of this because I'm going to store this in the fridge. So I'm using some soy sauce, some gochujang sauce, I think that's how you say it, a little bit of sriracha, and then I'm also going to add some ginger and go ahead and give that a really good mix. The gochujang sauce is like sweet already, it's kind of sticky, so this is going to boil and simmer and then become this really thick sauce. But then once it's done, I'm going to remove it from the heat and allow it to cool for about 5 to 6 minutes before adding a couple of tablespoons of honey. Again, I know some people are weird about heating honey, so I just try to remove it from off the stove and put it in that way to be safe. I haven't done my research, but good thing I pray over my food, so we all right, y'all, we all right. Now, y'all know my favorite part of any meal prep is when we get to assemble it. So I'm gonna go ahead and evenly divide up the veggies in between 3 meal prep containers. The same thing with the rice. I had a little bit of rice left over, so I just ate that by itself. And then I split the salmon into 3 pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and drizzle with about 1 to 2 tablespoons of that glaze. The glaze is so good, y'all. Like, once you try it, you'll never go back. But this is literally the quickest and easiest lunch/dinner that you can make, and it's high protein and it's delicious. This next recipe was literally me just experimenting with whatever I had in my house. I'm going to be making this creamy lemon orzo with chicken dish. It's so good. I was literally just clearing out my pantry so I can make room for new groceries. So of course I'm starting off with some sort of seasoning mix because you know we season with love over here. Definitely customize this mix to your liking, but this worked for me using all the seasonings on the screen. And also remember that all of my recipes are down below. So if you miss an ingredient, that's okay. There's a PDF down below. Mix all your spices together and then go ahead and add it to your protein of choice. I decided that I wanted to use 3 large chicken breasts because that's what I had. I butterflied each of them. Now I'm going to use my bare hands to make sure that the seasonings are all distributed throughout the chicken, but you can very well use gloves. I just prefer to use my bare hands and then wash them with soap and water. So again, you do it your way and I'm doing it my way. I'm adding a little bit of olive oil to help me distribute the seasonings evenly and just make sure that the chicken is evenly coated, and then I'm going to set it aside until I'm ready to cook it. All right, so now y'all know how to cook chicken. As long as it's not pink, you're gonna cook it all the way through. I think I did about 6 to 7 minutes per side. These were pretty large chicken breasts, and to the point where I took them off the skillet once I flipped them and I let them cook in the oven just to make sure, because I'm really weird about uncooked chicken. While the chicken is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and measure out my orzo pasta. I'm also using some chicken broth as the liquid that I'm gonna cook it in, so I'm just pre-measuring that on the side. I've cooked the chicken on both sides for about 6 to 7 minutes, and now I'm just transferring them into a pan and I'm going to put them in the oven just to finish off. Then in that same skillet, you don't have to clean the pan. I had to clean it though because I burnt the bottom of the pan. Y'all know it's very on brand for me. Anyway, I added a little bit of butter along with some onions and garlic, and I'm gonna go ahead and let them sweat for a little bit before adding in my orzo. Now that my onions are soft and translucent, I'm gonna go ahead and add some seasonings, just some basic seasonings, salt, pepper, and a little bit of some red chili flakes, because you know we love her on this channel. We love a red chili flake. Go ahead and toast those seasonings until they start to become more aromatic, and then we're gonna add in all of our orzo. Give it a good mix and let it toast in those seasonings. Let it just absorb any of the butter that's on the bottom of the skillet, and then we're gonna follow up with our low sodium chicken broth. Once the chicken broth has been added, we're going to bring it to a small boil, nothing too crazy, and then we're gonna pop the lid on and allow it to simmer. Now that the orzo has pretty much cooked all the way through, you might have to test to see if the grains are done. I'm using a fork to fluff mine. Some people are weird about using a fork on a non-stick skillet. Mine was fine. I was being very gentle. I did taste it and it did need a little bit more chicken broth, so I just went in and added a little bit more, and then I'm just gonna pop the lid back on and allow it to steam, just kind of like rice. Orzo mimics rice in its preparation and in its look. Of course, we need to add something green to this mix. I'm gonna add 2 packed cups of baby spinach. You can add as much or as little as you want. I just like the taste and the color that it adds as well. And it's just a great way to get some veggies in. step is optional, but I needed to get it out of my fridge, or at least the majority of it. So I'm adding a little bit of heavy cream into the mix. Just a tad, nothing too crazy. I don't want it to be too runny or too creamy, if that makes sense. Just enough to give it a nice little sauce. Then I'm gonna add just a little bit of grated Parmesan cheese in there, and then follow up with some lemon zest and the juice of an entire lemon. You can kind of play that by ear though, depending on how sensitive you are to lemon juice. I personally like the lemon juice, so I added the juice of a full lemon, but half is cool too. Go ahead and spoon you up a couple heaping spoonfuls of this Orzo, and then you're gonna go ahead and add your chicken on top, and there you have it. Super good, super quick, super easy. We'll definitely be making again. Alright guys, so that is going to conclude this week's meal prep video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you made it this far, definitely let me know down below in the comment section which recipe was your favorite. Mine's definitely the chocolate chip banana bread. Chef's kiss. Love it every single time I make it, and it's a crowd favorite. If you guys want to see specific meal prep content on my channel, whether you want a video that's just designated to breakfast, snacks, lunches, or dinners, please let me know. And if you want me to try out specific recipes or taking the recipes that are maybe not so healthy and trying to give them a healthy spin, definitely give me that challenge. Let me know in the comment section and I will definitely deliver, because we have goals to meet, okay? We have goals. Anyways, I'm gonna leave you guys off here. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Also be sure to turn on your post notifications. That way you can be notified every time your girl drops a new video. And until next time, babes, I'll see you in my next.